it's Sandy here. It's the new moon rose reading for July 2017, and it's a new moon at 0 degrees 44 of Leo, and is the beginning of a series of new and full moons that are working with the Leo Aquarius axis. So this is a powerful time for many of us who have either a rising sign, a sun or a moon sign in Leo or Aquarius. And as an Aquarian, I've been very, very aware of the energies that have been building up to this particular new moon. And new moons are always seen as new beginnings of potential, so that where we place our attention, the energy flows. So when we look at the potential of a new way of looking at something, a new way of approach, and bringing our attention to something new in our lives, so the doorways and the energies start to open. So for many people I know that I've spoken with in the last few days, there is a real sense of shift and change going on. And some of that's not very comfortable. You know, when we're having to deal with change, when we're having to deal with something new being called for in our lives, there is a sense of uncertainty often that, you know, that things are going to flow and it's all going to be okay. And we're really being asked to be in the present moment and to really trust that what's unfolding for us and what's being revealed for us is something that we absolutely need to pay attention to and to follow through, so that there is some movement and resolution in certain aspects of our lives. So each of these pulses of new moons and full moons are offering us that opportunity to take a fresh look at different circumstances in our lives and what's unfolding. So a new moon in that new potential, you know, where does that sit for you? Where is that new visioning being called for, and what steps can you take to start to make an active change? For many of us, we're having to really reframe what it is that what our offering is to out in the world, and does that need to be reviewed and to be adjusted in any way, so that it sits more and more impeccably in alignment with what is absolutely our truth and our knowing. So what might the roses have to offer us as an insight, a guide, and their wisdom? You know, the roses are pure love codes, so they offer us an insight into the grace of change and of that classic reframing of a way that we've perhaps looked at of an aspect of our lives. So I invite you with this new moon rose reading. Are you drawn to rose card 1? Are you drawn to rose card 2? Or are you drawn to rose card 3? So just take a moment and just get a sense of which one is radiating for you. So, if you were drawn to rose card 1, she is Rose Bagua 7. Now, Rose Bagua 7 sits in the area of the Bagua that is all about creativity in children. So the Bagua is a box of 9 squares. It's a feng shui term. It's used in black hat feng shui as a way of assessing different areas in our life map, our life code, if you like, different areas of our heartfelt expression in the world. This particular rose sits in the area of creativity in children. So this is rose card 1, if you've chosen rose card 1. So she is calling us to pay attention to all of those aspects of our creativity. Children are an aspect of our creativity. They're an aspect of our procreativity. So this rose is calling us to what needs to be expressed in your day, in your week. What is it that is calling for a refresh, another look at? Creativity comes from the core of our base second chakra combination. So this is the base chakra is our tribal center. When we move up into the sacral area, that's where what Jung would call the individuation. Who am I inside the tribe, and what is my expression in the world? How do I feel about myself as a woman or as a man? How do I feel about my creativity? How do I feel about my abundance? How do I feel that I fit into my birth family, into my tribe of origin? And what is my expression in the world? And obviously for us as women, there is this place of procreativity. This is the place where we will carry children and we will birth children from. So there is an absolute physical substance in that creativity, and it's why creativity and children are connected. But when we have a business, when we have a new business idea, which might be birthed and energized on a new moon, that too is another baby. We incubate the idea, we bring it to birth, we nurture it, we nourish it, we look at it from all ways, and then when we're ready, we allow it to take its place and move it out into the world. So you can see with this rose, she's like an explosion from the center, from the spotar, from the seed point of the creation of the rose, from her heart. At the core of every rose, there is a golden heart. There is the Rosa Mystica, that is connected into the mystery of life. Where do these ideas drop in from? Where do these patterns and choices that we make, where do these inspired ideas come from? So she is lovely. Marisa, hi, Marisa, hi, and I think Claire's there, and Kirsty, I think too. Yeah, this is such a and thank you for joining me. So yeah, this is a really expansive rose, and a really interesting rose to have as one of the rose cards. So she's rose card 1 for our reading today. Now in the rose bagua, this is a 9 squares in a box that actually from a feng shui point of view would be laid over the footprint of a house to identify the different places in a house. I work with this in a slightly different way. Yes, when I'm doing I've got my house whisperessing hat on, I use the bagua as a part of my tool bag. But when I'm working at it from this place of coming home to ourselves, then this is truly an expression through the heart of our creativity. But the other side of that, the other side of this particular pivot point in the bagua is where we receive inspiration and guidance from the ancestors and our wisdom teachers. So it's like we receive the download, we receive the creative impulse, or we we have patterns and programs that we've taken on board from our teachers in our parents or in others that we've met on our life journey, that bring to us the skills and the inspired ideas that allow us through the heart field to then express that out in the world. So this is what she calls us to. You know, what lights you up? What is it that you're feeling called to express as your unique creative expression at this particular time, in the now? What is it that is calling you? So she's calling for that awareness and that attention to your creative self. If you chose Rose card 2, this is Rose card 2, and she's Rose Angel 6. Now the Rose Angels are the sort of the middle set of the 5 sets that are in the Rose Oracle. And these are the 5 qualities, they're the 5 wounds and the 5 jewels of the heart. So they're the five jewels of love, really. So this rose sits on the throat chakra, and this is the place where we hold the wound of denial. This is where we swallow down rather than express, or we will head stuff something rather than express what our gut wisdom's telling us. So if you've called her today, if you're drawn to Rose card 2, she's asking you to really be aware of the vibration of your expression. Are you truly expressing what is your truth? You know, are you manipulating that to be approved of, to remain in favour? Are you saying something that somebody, just because you think somebody wants to hear that? Or are you truly, hi Ashley, thanks for joining. This is about really clearly having the courage, having the trust from the gut wisdom to move that energy up through the heart field and express it through the throat. So, you know, she's complex, but she's very beautiful and very graceful, and there is a real softness to her because our words carry energy. Once they are out there, they can't be taken away. Hi Carol, hi Sarah, thanks for joining. This is very much about speaking our truth and being graceful in the process, owning it, owning that it is our truth. Hi Anka. And so that we know that we are sharing from our heart, that it's really important now, because we can feel the vibration. The vibration changes when we are not in truth, when we are not in 100% alignment with what's being spoken, what's being expressed. So if you were drawn to Rose card 2, she really is calling you to that awareness, and that awareness that there is no wriggle room now. It is absolutely essential that we do share from our truth. There's this place of truth on this throat, and the wound that sits behind it, which is denial. When we choose not to speak, when we know something, there's a gut knowing, and we choose to speak, we actually deny somebody else from really knowing how we feel about something. We actually deny them the opportunity of knowing us, and that alters the ability for someone to actually trust us. So we don't trust ourselves then, and we don't allow somebody else that opportunity of really being able to to see us clearly. And we also deny someone else from being able to have the wisdom of our insight. So it's got lots of levels to it, but when we have the courage to speak our truth, it's a jewel. So the thing with the rose angels is that they are the transformers. They transform the 5 wounds to the heart of abandonment, betrayal, denial, judgment and separation, and they transform them to the jewels. Yesterday I had a Magdalene retreat day here. We were working with the energy of the Magdalene within, and we were talking about this place of sovereignty and moving into this place of queen, owning queen energy, and also, you know, for our men folk to be able to move into king, and how important it is for us to own that queen place. Now, in order to own the queen within us, we have to have healed these 5 wounds. We have to have acknowledged their presence and healed them so that we can harness the jewels. So the jewels of self-love, self-value and self-esteem, of trust, of truth, of forgiveness and surrender. And those jewels light up the crown. They fill our crowns with rubies and citrines and emeralds and sapphires and diamonds, so that we truly sit on our thrones with a crown alight. And that is the transformation that the rose angels offer us. So this particular rose sits on the throat, and she's the transformer and the jewel of truth. So this is a sapphire. This is a sapphire that goes into your crown when you've harnessed the wisdom and the energy of this. So if you chose Rose card 3, she is Rose Bagua 2. Now Rose Bagua 2 is the rose, again in the Rose Bagua. Hi Lynn, hi. And she is all about relationship and right relationship. Right relationship first with ourselves and then with others. Because if we are in right relationship with ourselves, there is a whole different frequency that then emerges in our relationships with others. So this is really important that our journey is to ourselves. We are the beloved that we seek. We are the first place of finding that right relationship with the beloved. And yesterday we were talking very much in our Magdalene circle around this weave of the masculine feminine within each and every one of us, how we come to this place of balance within. You know, if you're looking at it from a tantric path, this is white tantra. This is an inner alchemy that creates the inner marriage. And from that inner marriage, this balance of masculine feminine in the body, so the golden flame on the crown alights and the heart alights, which allows for the birth, if you're looking at it in the Christic tradition, the divine child. And the divine child is this pure, innocent, creative portal that gives a direct line access to higher frequencies of inspiration and of creative power. This is the portal that those of us working with the creative arts go into when we go into the zone. Balances left and right hemispheres of the brain and brings us into a right alignment with ourselves and a right alignment with others, because we become able to meet our own needs. We are not looking for an external force to make things okay with us. So this relationship, Bagua, this Rose Bagua 2, calls us into this right relationship with ourselves first. And she's just a stunningly beautiful rose to work with. This rose I photographed in San Ginesio in Italy, on the pilgrimage route to Assisi. I was working, doing some house whisperessing in a house there that was wanting to be released from its current owners. And this rose was sitting outside of the little annex that I was sleeping in. And the owner of this particular house at that time, because it's since been sold, regularly saw a cloaked feminine figure in spirit coming over the fields on the trail that led down through the olive grove to this particular house, which was a refugio. It was a place of refuge and nurturing nourishment that was on the pilgrimage route to Assisi. So this is a really powerful rose for calling in your beloved. And, essentially that is right relationship with ourselves. That is the beloved within first, before the beloved, the true beloved, outside can manifest. Until we have right relationship in here, until we have the beloved within in right alignment, we will always attract an external masculine or external feminine that is playing out a part of the soul's calling for healing. Once we have done this work internally, we can attract an external masculine who has done the work also, that can come into right alignment. So gorgeous, gorgeous rose to work with. So if you've called Rose Card 3 today, she is absolutely calling you to reflect on your relationships and your relationship to yourself. And in the Magdalene Circle yesterday, one of the focuses was on our own view of self-love, self-value and self-appreciation as the foundation point in our presence in the world. And of course that self-love, self-value and self-appreciation also sit in the sacral chakra, which also is this place in which we hold our sense of ourselves, both as men or women, our sense of our sexuality, our sense of attractiveness, and our sense of presence in the body. And then again, we come back to the king or the queen sitting on the throne. Where do we sit? And that energetically based second chakra works with the blood and the musculoskeletal system, and very Saturnian energy. I see it very much as a ruby if we're looking at it from a jewel that goes in the crown. This is very much about our fundamental support system in life, and that alters our whole dynamic in relationship. So these 3 roses for this new moon, very interesting. Rose card 1, creativity and children. How do you allow yourself to play? This is very playful. This makes creativity an effervescent, bubbly expression. That we can enter that place of sort of having fun with what we move into creation with. And for those of us like myself that are now grandmothers as opposed to just mothers, we get the opportunity to have fun with our creative process with our grandchildren. So yes, here she is. This is Rose Card 1, and she's all about creativity and children and your creative expression and having fun with that creative expression, being light with it and opening up to allow the divine inspiration to flow through. Rose Card 2, Rose Angel 6. Absolutely coming from truth, aligning with the vibration of truth and knowing that, I mean, you know, how many times have we hesitated to say something and then had the courage to speak and experienced such relief in having spoken? This is what she's all about. She has, you know, she's really calling us to that place of truth, that place of knowing actually there's nothing else to do. There is nowhere else to go but to actually say and express how we feel, or what our intuition is in a current situation, or what's being revealed to us as something that's just needing to be spoken. Trusting that process too. And Rose Card 3, that place of honouring all of our relations, but especially that relationship to ourselves, and coming ever more into truth in our path, and opening up to the gift that comes with being in right relationship to self. So hi BB, hi Mary, hi Renee. So I'm hoping that the reading this time is giving you some insight and another layer of understanding of the rose codes and the rose frequencies and how they can help us at this time. And I've got a whole new program of classes, in-person classes, retreat days and online classes coming up that will start in September and that will start emerging on the website soon. In just 3 weeks, I am heading off to Orlando, and I know that Mary's on the call, and I will be seeing Mary and Renee and Ashley and many of the other friends from New Jersey when I get to Orlando, which is going to be huge fun. So it's the New World Consciousness Conference in Orlando. So if any of you that are listening are in the States and can make it to Orlando, there are just some wonderful speakers and an incredible expo that's coming together for this event. So that's the 11th to the 13th of August. And on the back of that, I've got a Rose 1 class, an in-person Rose 1 class, which really is going to be explaining how rose healing works and how the rose grids work. And that's actually in Orlando as well. And then there's loads of other stuff that seems to be popping up and occurring. For any of you that are drawn to, I'm doing a radio interview with Chrysula tomorrow evening, and her Golden Muse Explorama, I think it's called, and you can find links to that on my Facebook page. And I've also got an interview coming up with Kimla Dodds in the next couple of weeks, and I will keep you all posted. It will be, the information will be there, but there's some really nice stuff happening. So yes, thank you so much for joining me today. And it's a grey, wet summer day here in the UK. I've got the heating on. It's oh gosh. And yeah, I do hope that I shall get to see some of you or all of you in the next few weeks and months, and bless you for joining me. Thank you so much, and yeah, much love and rosy blessings, and yeah, blessings on the new moon. May you find new beginnings and new pathways, and even just an internal shift that gives you a new perspective to move forward. So mwah, love and rosy blessings. Bye for now. Bye.